Hello, my name is Joseph Knockhart, and today I'm going to be giving a presentation on the effects of stress and ways you can manage it. The presentation is going to include how you can manage your stress, the effects on your body that it'll have, and finding the time to manage it. Because let's face it, we're all super busy people, and sometimes it can seem like there's no way we can actually manage it. So starting off, I want to start off with a quote by Dolly Parton, and the quote is, "Never get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life." And that's something that really I can apply to my life personally, because I can get very caught up in school and work and going to the gym and playing basketball that sometimes, I can't really find time to make anything for myself. And, I feel like that's something that I can relate to, that a lot of other people can relate to as well, because a lot of people have to go to school, a lot of people have to go to work, and a lot of people play sports that, sometimes you have to put things to the side to make room for your sports. And, this is something that helps me remember, never get too caught up in what you're doing. Always remember to have a life. That's something that I can really relate to. So to start off this presentation, we're going to be going over what stress does to your body. So stress can actually affect your immune system, and the way that it affects your immune system is by lowering your white blood cell count. Your body won't produce as much. Everyone knows that white blood cells are what is used to fight disease and infection within your body, and when your immune system has a less amount of that, that means diseases and sickness can really get you. And everyone's had a moment, I bet, where you get sick when you're really stressed out, and instead of just a common cold, just a little bit of a runny nose, it feels like death. And I bet it's pretty bad. It's happened to me, I can assure you. Also, stress, there's a correlation with higher stress and cortisol levels, which cortisol levels are attributed to weight gain, and a fluctuation within the weight is never healthy, and it's never good. So, that's not good. Stress can also lead to issues regarding sleep. Everyone's had a big test the night before, or the night after, or the day after. I'm sorry, you have a big test the day after you wake up. Everyone's super stressed out about it. You're super stressed. You can't fall asleep the night before, super stressed. And I guarantee you don't feel good the next day when you wake up. I can assure you guys, it has happened to me. Research done into the effects of stress on the body. So I chose a study by the University of Maryland, and they found that stress can actually lead to the inflammation of vital organs such as the heart. And the heart is something that's very important. Everyone knows that. And everyone knows that, heart attacks are with inflammation of the arterial walls, right? So if you have an inflamed heart or the arterial walls in your heart, that can lead to heart attacks. So stress can give you a heart attack. I mean, everyone probably has heard that before. You're going to give me a heart attack. But yes, this is actually something that can happen and is the result of stress. And it's not good. You never want this to happen. So this is ways you can manage stress. Maintaining a good diet with proper exercise. Look, having a good meal is something that you should always have and prioritize. And I know we live in America, fast food's easy to get. But, having a good meal that you can really appreciate and that's like healthy for you and good for you can really lower your stress levels overall. And, of course, exercise. Our bodies are meant to move, and exercising, can help provide a form of relief for stress, lifting weights when you're really mad, typical things like that. And recognizing when to take breaks. When your body's giving you signs, you can barely wake up the next day. You know what? Take a day off, take a break, take a breather, but make sure you actually have the time able to do that, and I'll get on that later. Taking time for yourself is very important. And also, keeping your life in order, making sure your room is clean, making sure everything that you need to do is done. And, just making sure you have just a healthy life, everything's organized, you have a system, you have a means to accomplish things in your life. And also prioritizing a good night's sleep. Everyone needs a good night's of sleep. I mean, sleeping is something that I find very relieving. I love sleep. I think it's a big factor in why I have a lower stress level than a lot of my peers. I make sure to get a good night's rest every night. And this one is what I wanted to get onto. Finding the time to take care of yourself. This is something that in America is a huge country that it never sleeps, right? Everyone always has something. You can go to McDonald's at 4 a.m. and get food. It doesn't matter how late it is. Somebody's up in this country and somebody's working. And, back in that fast-paced style of life in our nation can be very hard to, organize time for yourself to relax. So Finding time is really challenging, but prioritizing your daily obligations before winding down is crucial. You always want to make sure you can find time for yourself. And recognizing when it's appropriate to take a break. If you have an assignment due the next day or a big project you have to present in class, you don't want to do that. You don't want to, skip a day where you have to do that, because it just adds more stress onto your life, which is never good. You never want to have any of that happen. So I can actually comment on that. My freshman year of high school, I would do things like that. I'm guilty of that. Skipping a test I was super stressed out about. You know what? It's tomorrow's problem. It actually didn't help me. It only made the next day worse. It added more to my plate and it stressed me out more. So that was a very unhealthy way of managing stress. So a healthy way is to knock out whatever you have to do, whether it be the assignment, going to work. You know what? You have to be responsible. You have to be proactive with what you do. And that actually lowers your stress overall by doing those things and then taking a break. So knowing when to take a break in a healthy manner is crucial. So in summary, we went over what stress actually does to your body, ways you can manage stress, and finding time to take care of yourself. Those are all very important things with dealing with stress and what it actually does to you. So that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a good night. See you later.